Hello there, Ulysses. Good to see you. And good to see you too, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back to Powerwash Simulator 2, where we power wash things and improve... Oh, sorry. A little spurt there. Don't worry about that. And improve the lives of those around us by making sure everything's nice and spick and span for them. Very important. Furniture storage. Oh, wow. I should really explore this. But anyway, welcome back. I'm Just K. Let's power wash. Start washing. And we're just doing the career for now. The campsite. Right, I remember this last time. Or from last time. Vicky Mitchell, let me know when you found the place. We've already headed for home. Camping is definitely not for us. And a pair of boggy sprogs and one grubby hubby. We're in no mood to hang about. Know what I mean? Don't really know what else to say about it. Suppose the muck tells its own story, don't it? I guess so. Well, let's get started. Alright. Man. What is this? Yeah, yep. Yeah, just go for the long one for now. Man, how did they even get this like this? Whatever. See what we can do. Oh, there was a little doggo here. Wow, that looks dirty. Okay, alright. Let's pick one thing to kind of start with. I feel like this roof could be good in a spot. Let's see how this works. Seems to be doing well enough. So what have you guys been up to? I've been working almost constantly. I've been taking a lot of steps in my life to kind of pursue the things that I want to do. Things like this, you know. Playing games, making content, taking steps to ensure that what I spend most of my time doing is things that I want to do, you know? Really feeding the soul, making sure that I'm taking time to make sure that I'm alright, while also putting full effort into anything that I feel like doing. That's not quite hard enough. Oh, no. Sorry. There we go. You know, I think I talked about it a bit in the last part of this. But I think the element of choice in anything that we do as people is critical. I think if I'm choosing to do this, you know, I feel like that is really the deciding factor on whether or not it's a chore or whether something is easy to get through, you know? I mean, there are all manner of games that are incredibly difficult. Even some games that I love and I played a lot of, like Dark Souls, the entire Soulsborne genre, everything made by From Software, you know, in regards to that genre, not of course anything like the other stuff they've made. Those are very difficult games and they're very frustrating, but because of that element of choice, they don't feel quite as bad as sometimes even just like sitting in traffic. You know, sitting in traffic can feel so much more worse than dying to Melania for the 30th time, you know. I think it's just that choice of like, well, I'm choosing to be here, I'm choosing to engage in this. That really decides how much effort like you're willing to put in to whatever you're trying to do. Oh, that's the shed done. Oh, nice. Looks good. Ooh, what is this? Little lantern. Nice and easy. Take care of these stairs. So I've been making the choice to engage in a lot. Way more than I thought I could before, you know. I feel like almost every day I spend, I have my regular job that I do, which I don't hate, definitely not. I do my regular job, but then I'm also spending a ton of time, every day, hours on top of my normal job, working on my other goals, you know. All manner of things. I've always been kind of engaged in creative writing, storytelling, content creation in that way, I guess. But content creation feels exclusively like YouTube. And, well, these kinds of Let's Play videos are definitely near and dear to my heart. This is not incredibly creatively fulfilling, you know. I'm just kind of sitting here enjoying myself, playing a game that I usually like or wanted to play and sharing with people. So this is technically, work, but usually when I'm talking about work that I'm doing outside of my regular job, I mean something like creative writing, building things that really mean a lot to me. Oh man, we finished this whole thing already. Wow. Kind of just speed running through this. Yeah, let's get this kind of area taken care of. And I feel like because of the choice that I'm making to engage in that way with everything, even though I am technically working for most of my day, what would normally be a kind of 10-hour, 11-hour-ish day, depending on traffic, just for like my normal work day, becomes 15, 16 hours each day, barely enough time to sleep after. And while I can certainly understand that feeling daunting, I think it's that choice that I want to do this. I am choosing to kind of believe in myself and believe that I can do something else than just, work a standard job, where ultimately I'm not the one that's super kind of benefiting, And I think that's the realization that the vast majority of people make in most jobs, is that you're really not the one benefiting. Oh, Vicky. Camping is just something else, huh? It's almost like you're living in some lawless wilderness. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's how it feels. Take this morning, for example. I thought I'd make us pots of delicious porridge to eat after mushroom picking in the woods. Okay. Well, thanks for letting me know that. But yeah, you're really not the one benefiting from any sort of standard job like that, And there are certain times when that kind of job is necessary, something, think like a firefighter, paramedics, even something like a police officer, You're a needed part of, any kind of community. But for the vast majority of other jobs, you're just kind of being there, another number in the system, doing some work that if you weren't there, maybe someone else would do, It can be very draining. That's why I always make sure that every day, as often as I can, I'm engaging in work that I find fulfilling, I find engaging. And even if it's, at the cost of a little bit less time to just kind of sit around and relax, I find that it gives that refreshing feeling of, I made a bit of progress today. And as I often say, progress is progress. It doesn't matter how small of a step forward you take, it was still a step forward. And I feel like these days my drive for that kind of thing is just on another level. Like I said, almost every day ends up being 14 hours, 15-hour days. And while I can certainly feel like a lot of times, it's, I think, because of the circumstances that I've set myself up in. You know, like I mentioned before, the element of choice and really believing that this is important to me and I'm doing this because it's important to me. That really takes away a lot of that kind of, hold on, I think I need to shorten this up. Really takes away a lot of that kind of feeling that we feel, you know? I feel like so many people these days are just stuck in just feeling all the time, you know? Life is so unbearably hard all the time. It's just difficult and annoying and frustrating, and it kind of never lets up, you know? Whenever you think there's going to be another break, or, you know, maybe things might finally turn your way, there's always a complication. You know, I think that's just kind of the way life is. There will always be a little bit of hardship for you, you know? Always be a little bit of difficulty that you'll need to get past. You know, you'll need to stop and put gas in your car. You'll have to pick up food because your stove broke. Your dryer will break. All manner of things, you know. And it'll just keep going without end, and you can certainly feel that. Oh, I see it moving. That's cool. You can certainly feel without it. Oh, that's the whole fire pit. Way to go. You can certainly feel like it. What's the point? There's really no end to it, you know? Let me set this up. But I think that difficulty is kind of intrinsic to what it means to be human. Speaking with a close family member before, what it means to be human, and I feel like that stumble forward, and stumbling, making our way forward, stumbling, encountering difficulty, and continuing forward is really what it is to be human. And I think everything else is temporary. Everything else will change day by day. You know, some days will be harder, some days will be easier, but there will always be some element of difficulty, some stumbling, some need to continue going when you're annoyed and don't want to. Or even when things feel utterly hopeless, you know. That will always be there. I feel like that is really what it is to be human and kind of share in the struggle that generations and generations before you. Oh, is that the whole book? Damn. Generations and generations before you have struggled with as well, you know? Oh, Vicky's coming. But when we got back from our walk, all our porridge had been eaten, even though hubby likes his stone cold and I like mine boiling hot. To be fair, our kids' porridge was there for the taking, as they like theirs somewhere in the middle. Oh, well. Maybe there's a lesson in that. Anyway. Sorry about your porridge, Vicky. Yeah, I feel like that struggle is so intrinsic to what it is to be a person. And the generations that came before you also struggled, and that does give me a bit of comfort. Because so often when you're in the depths of a struggle, it can... Oh, that was bad. It can feel hopeless and alone. You know, and especially if you're suffering from any sort of mental illness. I mean, you know, I don't know how much I've talked about on here, but I've certainly have had and continue to have my own struggles with mental health and mental stability, finding a way forward in the awful existence that we call life, you know? And it can be very difficult. And I find that going back to that central thing of I'm not the first one to feel this way, and I definitely won't be the last, is comforting. You know, it lets me know that I'm definitely, at the very least, I'm not alone in this. You know? Oh, come here. Little Ulysses. Yes, hello. Little squeaker. Good to see you. Where's the... Hello? Where's that gnome? That gnome's around here somewhere. I smell him. I know he's around here somewhere. Whatever. Oh, here you are. I'll find your little bubbles. You know, I think some of the most important things that you could do... I fucking know it. Get out of here! Bastard. Some of the most important things that you can do in your life are hard. And they will require struggle and sacrifice, you know? And that's by no means an excuse to put yourself through suffering. And, you know, suffering will come naturally. You don't need to add on to it. Like I mentioned before, you know, you don't need to make things harder on yourself. Life will make it plenty hard for you. Regardless of where you come from, your feelings on any sort of given topic, life will kick you in the ass. You know? So, try to take time to recover, you know? I know I've been talking kind of like a big game on, I work constantly. I work every day, 15 to 16 hours a day. But all throughout that day, I try to have as much fun as I can. I'm reminded of the figure skater, Alyssa Liu, who I watched a little bit of her kind of talking on how she made her return and how one of the most important things to her was having fun. And that having fun is what really set her apart, made her such a stronger competitor, because it wasn't a slog, it wasn't hard. It was something that she chose to do and chose to have fun with, and I've been using that pretty much every day. I try to have as much fun as I can, you know? Like when I record YouTube videos, I do things that I like. I record games that I want to play, things that I want to do. Oh man, I'm gonna record games that I've wanted to play, focus on topics that I want to talk about. When I'm traveling to and from like my normal work, I always listen to podcasts that I find funny, things that I want to engage with, you know. And even when I'm working, I try to have little moments. You know, I'm lucky enough to be able to have the opportunity to work at a job where I could listen to music and, you know, podcasts, you know, while I work. So I always listen to music I love, podcasts that I find funny or engaging. I try to make every little moment at least a little fun for myself and make it a bit less of a drag, you know? Because everything can so often feel like a drag. Life is a bit of a drag, you know? So, try to make it a little fun. And that's what I really picked up from listening to the way she speaks about everything, things that have helped her. It's definitely helped me too. Just having fun, and it's not a constant thing. You don't have to. Oh, tell you something else that's weird about camping. Out here, everything has legs, even the logs. Okay. It's not a thing of like throw away your responsibilities and always pursue fun at any cost. Like, there's responsibilities that you have that you're gonna need to deal with. You can't shirk them. You can't get away from them. It's just gonna be there. But just because they're your responsibility doesn't mean that you can't have fun while you take care of them. That's kind of what I was talking about with work. Yes, I have to go to work, and yes, it sucks, and I don't like it. It's not engaging, creatively fulfilling. It's a slog. It takes up time in my day that could be better spent elsewhere in terms of like fulfillment for my own soul, for me as a person. But given the circumstances that we live in, it's a necessity. So I make do the best way I can. I have fun as much as I can. I talk with my coworkers and, try to engage in them, engage in their topics, learn more about them, have fun with them, joke around. And it allows me the chance to really it makes getting through each day a little bit easier, It really, really does. Because then it's less of like, oh, I have to go to work and I'll have to just suffer for however many hours I need to be there, And it's more of like, oh, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to do things that I love and talk to people that I enjoy talking to and have a good time, And yes, I'd rather be doing something else, but I'll also have fun while I'm doing this, That makes it feel like a bit more of like a choice and a bit less of a drag to have to deal with. And that, in turn, makes like every day easier. And that is something that absolutely saves me. Oh, nice. No. I created a, put that over there for now. I did create a second channel. I don't think I published it on here. But I'll try to I'll find a way to link to it. Where I talked a lot about, it's more visual essays and that kind of thing. A lot about losing your sense of safety. And for me, that's always been a struggle that I have whenever I do anything that's a big transition in my life or any sort of thing where whatever I deem my safety to be, if I get less of that, then that is a horrific bringer of anxiety for me. And I talked a lot about just, my struggles with it and how I managed to deal with it and try to be a bit hopeful about everything and kind of aware that I may be feeling these feelings, but I am not these feelings, Take a bit of kind of like a Buddhist approach of viewing my feelings from a bit of a healthy distance. And remind myself that this is all fine. It's all fine. Almost nothing is actually hopeless. There's always a way that you could make things easier on yourself, And that's something that has really, really helped me. And I plan to continue posting more over there. I'm writing a number of essays right now, including one about Dark Tide, my favorite game of all time that I'm also playing on this channel. If you're here because you're checking out Dark Tide, hello. I also just play other things that I like, things that I find enjoyable. But yeah, that's another thing of choosing to have fun is taking this thing, which is content creation, which could be a slog depending on how I went about it, and choosing to have it be tied to something that I just love. And but my work is I get to play my favorite video game, and I get to talk about my favorite video game, and I get to share my favorite video game with other people. It really makes it feel like not work at all. It feels great to be able to kind of just share things I love with people and see that they are also interested in them, and they like them as well. I would actually like to make a channel entirely dedicated to Dark Tide, but I'll have to look into that. For now, I'm enjoying just posting separately, or just posting on the normal channel. There we go. I think that's that. Oh. And just up here, more suds. I'm very rambling today. I've been talking so much. Did not know I'd be so rambling today. But I'm enjoying it. It's always good to get your feelings out, Like I always say, don't suffer in silence. Talking and putting a name to your feelings is a big important step that can really help out, I often talk out loud to myself while I'm doing that right now, but I mean like when I'm not trying to give commentary, When I'm just by myself and experiencing a breakdown or anything like that, sometimes I'll talk out loud to myself. Just as a means of really being able to face and deal with whatever I'm feeling. I find that can really, really help me. Oh, wow, that's nice. I feel like being able to give whatever you're facing a name and a face, and really kind of allowing it to be externalized from yourself is a very good way to deal with and manage whatever you're feeling. It always works out for me. It always is such a big help. Although it does make you look a little crazy. At least I have to imagine I look a little crazy talking out loud to myself all the time. Come on. I see you. Lovely. Is this spruce spring clean? Your friend Harper says you'd be up for helping me out. My house is anything short of a national disgrace. It's a kind of a big house, but it looks kind of cool. I bet it'll look lovely when it's finished. But let's check out the time lapse. Well, getting that work done, getting things nice and clean, nice and spotless. Wow. I've just heard that we've got our deposit back, and after watching an amazing vid, I'm not surprised. Incredible job. Thank goodness for you and that amazing portable power wash of yours. Hopefully the bear, or whatever it is, didn't wake up and bother you. We left it sleeping in the lodge and didn't know whether to mention it or not. Kittens, let's go. What the F, dude? She just left the bear in there. Oh my god. Whatever. Alright, we did get a little bit of money. Let's see about our furniture catalog. Can we pick anything up? Okay. Whimsical lamp. Bespoke lamp created by visionary Muckingham artist Darcy Darcy. Evoking what might happen were lamps to finally achieve sentience. Okay. Oh, and there was another, yes. This. Swirl Force Surf Ace. I was very interested in this. It's a surface cleaner? I only noticed this when I was rewatching the other video. It seems so interesting. What is that? Whoa, okay. These look crazy. But yeah, I was very interested in it. Definitely gonna cup that and that one. And I think that'll be enough for now. Yeah. Huh. Oh wait, no. Yes, wash. Well, I can't really. Oh, that kind of works. That kind of works. But I don't think that's what that's for. So let's head back. Yeah, here we go. Should be fine. I find that making time to like even as small moments as you can, making time to laugh and experience some kind of closeness with people that you love in your life, having hobbies. I feel like all of that is so critical to everything, and that's really what keeps me here, you know, despite working these kind of longer hours every day and doing so much. Nice. Oh yeah, I feel like this will. Kind of do that in like the corner. Yeah, this looks like the kind of cool corner, cool area. I like it. Exit placement mode. Yeah. I find that all of that it really helps me get through everything. You know, being able to. What is this? See my little kitty cats, but well, I'll read these some other time. Doing this. You know, taking time to work, but I do a thing that I like to do. Something I've wanted to do. Something that I find fun. I mean, you know, you hear me laughing and talking up a storm. That and you know, using Dark Tide as one of the main things, because that is I didn't think it would be when I first started playing it, but I got so attached to it, and there's nothing like it in my. Get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out of here. There you go. Hope somebody runs your ass over. Sorry, folks. Yeah, and just all of that is such a big thing. Music as well. It's one of the things I need in my life. Hopefully next time I can remember to talk about music and the impact it gives on my life. I know I talked just a bit about listening to music, but nothing specific. But I would like to talk about that more. But anyway, thanks for being here. I've been Josuke. I've been power washing. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed power washing that campsite. I hope you enjoyed cleaning up that lamp, placing it in that corner. Hopefully as we unlock more and more, we can have our place look just immaculate. Thanks for being here, folks. You're strong, you're important, you're special. You matter. Don't suffer in silence. Seek help if you need help. Just because you're dirty doesn't mean you can't get cleaned up. Thanks for being here, folks. I've been Josuke. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. That's right, Ulysses. Bye-bye.